dropped something.
Well, it's okay.
Am I still
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, you dropped. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
As long as the
it fell off.
light is on there, you're fine.
It's been dangling, so I wasn't
All right, I'll be
sure I was
back,
connected.
Andrew. All right, so this is Scott Jordan. You're watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma. We've poured our third wine in our new reserve tasting. This is a wine that we've had in the room since Heidi joined us back in 2009 now. Wow, been 2 years open next month. Unbelievable. Pirate wine, first of all, it's a cool bottle. It's a rum bottle. Number one, it's cool. Number two, it's a serious wine. 18 months in brand new French oak. Okay. I hear questions in my ear. We'll get there. Hang on, guys. I want to tell you about this wine. It's got 4 of the 5 Bordeaux grapes in it. Does not have any Malbec. It has Mourvedre in it. It has Syrah and Petit Syrah in it, and so it's a really serious wine. She didn't mess around, but it's what the coolest part of this. Besides the cool bottle, she wrote the tasting notes in pirate speak. So I'll give you my best pirate speak. And we have an event that actually we did last year in September on the 15th called Speak Like a Pirate Day, which I had no idea. It's almost like a cult, man. You got to check that out. If you've never seen that, go ahead and Google Speak Like a Pirate Day.
It started on Twitter.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy. It's just
if
crazy.
It's cool, it starts on
Twitter. It was
Twitter.
very cool. And there's a big deal to it. So it's the day where you speak like a pirate. So today I'll speak like the pirate. The true treasures of the 7 seas, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, Little, Petit Verdot, Grenache, and other wonders buried where the X marks the spot. Beware of this saucy blend for fine flavors, be the gems and the coin herein. So anyway, the pirate wine, you gotta love that. I mean, she did a magnificent bottle of wine. Retail price on that is $70. It's the only wine that if you buy it in a 6-pack, you can have it for $3.90. So you get a little discount if you buy 6. It's the only wine that she'll make a deal on. Kevin, you got a question out there, buddy? Well, tell him to stop. Oh, I am. Okay. All right. Scott Lee from Los Angeles. Scott, what's the question there, buddy? Did you get the Giants tickets yet? Okay, we're going to spring training. Oh, these are 2 of my boys. And the question is, how do social media practitioners show their value? Oh, that's a. Is there a measure, or is it something you see in the sales? Okay, so the question is, and it came from my son in Southern California. Thank you for tuning in, Scott. Probably don't have a game. You probably got rained out. So how do you put a price? Is that what the question was? I forgot the question. Say it again. How do you put a?
How do you measure the value?
Measure the value. How do you measure the value?
You know, social media is like a telephone, and you can measure a telephone by the monthly bill. You can measure the telephone by the type of engagement you have over it. If you're in a telecom, you measure the return on investment in monetary terms.
Right.
So any social media program needs to be measured. Anything in business needs to be measured. But before you can answer the question, you really have to know what your goal is, because you use social media for so many different reasons. Dell just put together a multi-million-dollar room to listen to conversations about themselves.
Oh my God!
I can't reveal the number, but it was a lot of money. It looks like a Pentagon war room.
Wow!
And they're monitoring 22,000 conversations about them directly or relevant to them every day.
Crazy.
Then they're sorting those questions out and they're giving it to the employees where they have the greatest relevance. Is it worth it? They think so.
Yeah. Wow.
Other people have used social media. Sealand in San Antonio, Texas, used social media to promote a new ride. They also did TV advertising with the same ride. Then, as people came off the ride, they had people with a clipboard say, "How did you find out about the new ride?" And they found out that it was a lot cheaper to do it on social media than it was by TV advertising. And in the future, that adjusted their strategy. So there's all sorts of ways of measuring. There are three things that are connected here. There's monitoring, just listening, which is very, very important. Radiant 6 is in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's measurement, which is counting numbers. Then there's analytics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole new category rising up called social analytics.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time that measurement in social media has been very refined and very sophisticated, and in many ways as sophisticated as any other form of market measurement.
But it has to be. I mean, you have to get that measurement because if I'm a business owner and I want to spend money on this thing,
everything in business must be measured, but not everything you measure is ROI. You're a corporation. You send a CEO. You're a winery. You send your CEO to a fancy place to speak on a panel for 6 minutes. He's gone for a week. Now, what's the ROI on that? What's the dollar per minute ROI on that? What are you
Right.
measuring there? Why are you doing that?
Right. Right.
So there are answers to that. Goodwill is a measurable thing.
Mm-hmm.
And every CEO decides what he's going to do with his minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and not all of them have to do with the chingling of a cash register.
Right.
He's trying to build something.
Mm-hmm.
Building requires an investment of time and energy and thought.
Mm-hmm.
How do you measure some of those?
It's hard, and it's difficult to make a decision
But it can be done. And there are chief financial officers who measure lots of things. There's operations executives who measure lots of things. Now we have, the last time I checked, there's over 100 companies doing social analytics.
Oh my God.
Each one of them are looking at things differently. None of them are perfect yet.
Right.
But every time you turn around, they're a little better and a little better and a little better. They're measuring influence. They're measuring engagement. They're measuring listening. They're measuring ROI. It's all being done. So my answer to your son is depends on what you want. And as far as you asked specifically about the value of a consultant, well, I'm the measuring stick. If they're better than me, they charge more than me. If they're not better than me, less.
There you go. Right. All right. All right. Follow-up question.
What is the most used social media platform? Is it Twitter, Facebook?
So what's used most? What platform is used most? Twitter, Facebook?
In the United States, and I think worldwide, that would be Facebook.
Okay.
In China, there's Tencent, which is probably over 300 million users to that.
Wow.
And, there are several now that are institutionally large. One of the real surprises or ironies to me is that the mass media is infinitely smaller than social media. And, it's the three TV channels, I think, on a Sunday night have an average of 7 million viewers. And at 3 in the morning, you'll find more than a larger number than that on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, right. Wow.
So the short answer is humongous.
Gotta love it. All right, let me answer the questions to our last segment. I don't want to get too far behind. What is Vin Santo? The answer is, and it's Italian wine made from dried grapes. So what they do is they leave that fruit on the vine until it shrivels up, gets a lot of sweetness, and that is called the Vin Santo. So when you go to the store, that's what you're going to get if you see a grape like that. What is the most widely planted grape in New Zealand? I got this way wrong. I was way off. I was thinking Shiraz or Malbec. No, it's not. It's Chardonnay, which is surprising. While Kiwi's success with Sauvignon Blanc brought the world to New Zealand's doorstep, Chardonnay is the most widely planted grape varietal in New Zealand. Did not know that. So there you go. Don't get that one wrong. Did you have another question, Kevin? All right, go ahead.
Any major changes in social media in your future?
All right, so what kind of, the question is, what changes do you see coming down the pike in social media?
I've been speaking all over the place and writing a good deal on this very subject. I think we're at a flex point. Social media so far has disrupted just about everything. certainly business, education, as we're seeing in Egypt, government, news, entertainment, everything is getting braided into social media. Um, so until now, we've seen these things getting bigger. We've heard all this noise, and we're now getting into a period that I call the age of normalization. It's a lot less sexy, a lot less dramatic. It's when people stop talking about the tools and just use them to get the jobs done and to talk with people. Um, from that, I'm seeing a lot of things. I've written a good deal about something called braided journalism, the integration of traditional journalists and citizen journalists. And again, Egypt is a good reference point for that.
Really good reference point.
Yeah. There's niche networks now that there's 600 million people on Facebook. It all began because we just wanted to use the internet to talk to our friends.
Right.
So there's a huge trend of all these little tiny networks that are closed that you don't hear a lot about, where they're talking about everything from people who love Hummers to people who love hummingbirds and anything in between. Um, there are many, many churches now where if you miss the Sunday sermon, you can see it on his blog, see it on your reverend's blog.
You gotta love that.
It is simply weaving itself into the fabric of every institution there is.
I mean, it's just becoming a normal function of your daily operation, whatever you're doing, no matter business or socially.
Last week there was a mayor in a small city in New Jersey who stayed almost around the clock on Twitter talking to citizens who were upset about snow removal, listening to their problems, checking on finding out when their problems would be solved. He did this around the clock. This week he went up 7 points in the polls.
You gotta love that instant result. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take another little break here. Where I'm gonna give you two more questions, and then we'll answer them on the other side of the break. Which of the following likely describes a wine made from Cabernet Franc grapes? What green pepper vegetable, plum jam and citrus, vanilla and butter, grapefruit and butterscotch? Which would describe a Cabernet Franc most likely? Second question, which of the following likely describes a wine made from Petite Syrah grapes? An elegant, smooth red with berry aromas, a light-colored, flowery red, a tropical, flinty white, or a deep-colored, inky, tannic red. That one you might know, but Petite Syrah grape, what would be the descriptor for Petite Syrah? We'll take a break. We'll be right back. And those of you watching live, we're going to pour the fourth wine in our selection.